truthfully, if you were able to give quite a bit in a short period of time, and you were able to put that on your resume and you shine, you might get more opportunities. That might be something where it gives you more opportunities. David says, finishing up my master's degree in cybersecurity and currently studying for the CISSP. I have a Security Plus cert and a security clearance. And then he goes on to say, will getting my CCNA help me as I'm working on the CISSP? No. I'm just going to be honest with you, David. Like I took the CCNA and I took the CISSP, and they're very, very different. I took the CCNA a long time ago, but it's okay. Let me explain. Okay. CISSP is very, very broad. It's not going to go into networking very much. Like it's going to stay at the OSI model and TCP/IP level. It's going to stay at a very simple level, and it might go a little bit lower in that it addresses security concerns at each layer of the OSI model and each layer of the TCP/IP stack. So in that way, there is some crossover between the two, but that's about where it stops. The CCNA goes super deep in one thing, which is networking using Cisco devices. So they're going to talk about things like backing up a router or a switch. They're going to talk about the connectivity between this type of router and this type of switch. They're going to talk about the operating system, the iOS, upgrading iOS, different commands in the iOS. They're going to talk about stuff like that. They're going to talk about the differences between config T and when you first log into the system, like a normal login standard user and the admin user, the roles between those two, things like that. It's going to be in the weeds on Cisco devices. CISSP does not touch any of that kind of stuff. It stays at a layer where it's talking about you'll be solid on the networking questions. I'll tell you that. Like all the networking questions that they ask on the CISSP, you'll be solid. Like you won't have no problem with the networking questions. If you study for the CCNA, you'll be completely covered on all the networking part. But the problem is networking is like one part of one domain, one part of 5 domains in the CISSP or 7, however many domains they have now. I haven't looked at it in a while, but that's one part. They're going to talk about cryptography, which CCNA is not going to help you with that. They're going to talk about information security management. CCNA doesn't touch on any of that. 8 domains. Somebody said 8 domains. So it's going to help you with the only overlap between those two would be the networking piece. It's going to cover the networking piece pretty comprehensively, like way beyond. CCNA goes way deep into the networking piece, that parts that CISSP does not touch. What else? I would say probably more overlap. There's more overlap with Security Plus and CISSP. There's more overlap with those two. It's just that the CISP is like a very advanced version of the Security Plus. Like if you want an example of like what to expect, it's going to be more like a very advanced version. It's going to be like a more advanced version of the Security Plus than it is, and it'll just kind of touch one tiny slice one tiny intersection between CCNA and CISSP, whereas Security Plus has 4 or 5 different connections. Will getting my CCNA help me as I'm working? Not really. I mean, a little bit from the security portion of it, but that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, they're 2 different things, man. They're completely 2 different things. Yeah, I would Security Plus would be a better refresher for you, to be honest with you. Unless they've changed everything and it goes super deep in the network, which I doubt it. You know, CCNA is no joke, by the way. So that's a pretty hard test. But congrats on everything else. I mean, you got your master's degree, finishing up your master's degree. That's awesome. That's like a 10% raise anywhere you go. CISSP is incredible for jobs. It's going to open up all kinds of jobs.